the checkered flag. Herb Thomas wins his third Southern 500.
Chevrolet has 7 decades of success. I'm Eric Warren. I am the Director of Motorsports NASCAR programs for General Motors.
Car number 3, Junior Johnson, is coming into the pits.
And we've proven it with the 40 championships.
Bobby Allison has the nose of his Chevy pointed right toward victory lane.
I think there's just generally a hunger amongst everyone here. There's an expectation for us to do well.
The checkered flag for the 28-year-old Earnhardt.
I'm Andrew McCogan. I'm a NASCAR aerodynamic specialist for Chevy.
Coming down for the checker, it is Darrell Walton.
I want to thank Chevrolet for building us this great new race car.
We're going to keep doing what we've done best. We're going to work with the best teams in NASCAR.
Everybody knew that this was the quickest car.
I'm Pat Suey, manager of NASCAR competition for Chevrolet.
For the second time, the Daytona 500 goes to Jimmy Johnson and his Rick Hendricks Chevrolet.
We're going to have the best resources at our and the team's disposal, and we've done that for 7 decades, and we're going to keep doing it, and we're going to keep doing it better than the competition.
800th win for Chevrolet.
Four or 5 years ago, the race teams and NASCAR really been working on several problems, how to make the cars draft better, make one be less sensitive to the other, behind each other.
It started with us kind of giving NASCAR a shopping list, and then they asked for it, in fairness, right? They said, what do you as an OEM want in this new car? What are your imperatives or your priorities? We said, hey, we've got to get some more symmetry in the car because the old car was asymmetric left to right. We got to make a car that looks like what we saw on the showroom floor.
It became very apparent over time that you need to take a fresh look at it and really look at what would a new car look like, and then gave an opportunity to incorporate some learnings that we weren't able to do with the previous generations.
You know, we knew the chassis was going to be all new, but the first thing and the longest lead time for us is doing the aero work and developing a body.
From an aerodynamic point of view, yeah, I was happy with keeping with the Camaro. It's got a lot of features on it that you can work with as an aerodynamicist in order to extract performance from the car.
The Camaro presented some opportunities with the air bounce, particularly being rearward, and the air flows through the nose of the car and comes out the hood exits. And so that's a little bit different. So the styling and how the hood's shaped gave us an opportunity to take advantage of some of the shapes that are unique to Chevrolet.
Obviously, connecting the track to the showroom is a huge part of that. Every significant body character line is captured, you know, from the hood to the nose, down the sides of the car. And really, the ones that have helped us to do that is NASCAR, because part of the approval process isn't just, does it meet our criteria in the wind tunnel, but they have a process that we go through with them, and we put our proposed race car next to a street car, and they walk around it and they look at it with a pretty critical eye and say, hey, where's that line? Or how come this line, you know, curves that way instead of that way?
There were inherent advantages with the Camaro. There's certainly shapes on the Camaro that are different than the other brands that we took advantage of, and I think we saw even in the initial testing, you know, we feel like our advantages.
You're given performance metrics, and in all the performance goals that we were given at the start of the project, we came out top of the pile. Cars look racier, in my opinion, than the old cars. The greenhouse is 2 inches shorter, the cars, it's 1 inch wider, so they look lower and they just look meaner.
It was very important early on to make sure that each OEM had influence on things like independent rear suspension. It was a big topic of when do we get those things in there. So things that are in a production car that were not in the race cars, really forcing the race car and the production car to be closer. And so I think really getting things that make the Chevrolet Camaro iconic was important.
The old car, the Gen 6 car, and its chassis, from an evolutionary perspective, they'd kind of reached the pinnacle, I'll say, of the performance you could generate with that particular chassis. You know, I think it was important for us to modernize the subsystems on the underside of the car, you know, whether that was independent rear suspension, rack and pinion steering, all the hardware that helps the car go around the racetrack, basically. The new tire and wheel combination, you know, the 18-inch forged aluminum wheel, we worked pretty hard with NASCAR, and they worked with wheel suppliers and Goodyear to come up with a wheel and tire combination that is going to work very well in the stock car world and oval track racing.
looks just like the street car. The coupe body style, the lower greenhouse, the size of the wheels. The next-gen car does really bring the showroom to the track and vice versa. I'm really proud of the effort that our teams and our Chevrolet Motorsports organization, the effort they put towards this car, how great it looks and how it reflects the Chevrolet Camaro closer than any car we've raced. It's an iconic performance car, and I'm proud that the product turned out as it did. That commitment and that heritage, you want to keep that heritage of winning. When the entire company is behind the racing organization, you know, it gives you the commitment that racing is part of the family, and the commitment is there to do whatever it takes to win. That's a strength of Chevrolet that's been shown through history, and I think it's going to be